Okay, this video is not going to be show and tell. This is going to be, I want to cover a few things related to Alice in Wonderland that will relate to collections, plus one other thing I want to talk about. Now, Alice in Wonderland Kindle books. There is a very large number of them. Some of them are the traditional Alice in Wonderland. Some of them are factual. Some of them are variations of Alice in Wonderland, like Alice in a Different Situation, or somebody, not Alice, but goes into Wonderland, same kind of thing. And then there's the ones that are not for young people. The advantage of the Kindle books is they're inexpensive. They don't take up any room to store. And if you belong to Kindle Unlimited, you don't even pay for most of them. Now, Kindle Unlimited is this thing you pay, like, I think it's $10 a month, and you can have 10 books out at a time. And I have not run into any problems with that. It's a good deal. The disadvantage, though, of Kindle books, some of them cannot be bought. Some of them are in ebook form only. There's no physical copy of them at all. If you're on Kindle Unlimited, when you finish reading a book, you return it digitally so you can get another book. That means you don't have it on your Kindle. So that, I figure, is somewhat of a disadvantage. It is hard to keep track of what you have taken. Now you can go online, you can go on Amazon and look through the titles. It'll usually tell you, which ones you've had and that. But it gets to be time consuming when you do that, especially if you've read a lot of them already. And one other disadvantage is you cannot print them out. I mean, I don't think there is any way to print out a Kindle book. Now, I may be wrong on that. But let's say even if there were, it's going to use a lot of ink and a lot of paper, because even the shortest Alice in Wonderland books are around 70 pages long. And if you find a bunch of them that you like, well, you're going to use up your ink, your toner cartridge, your paper really quick. So Kindle Alice in Wonderland things have advantages and disadvantages. I myself would really like to have every one of them in paper. Now, Alice in Wonderland Illustrators, I'm going to be doing a series of videos on that and breaking them up alphabetically, because there'll be way too many for one video. I know I have at least 70, maybe 73 or so different illustrators. The thing that's odd is determining who is and who isn't an illustrator and what you want listed is very difficult. Now, first of all, you're going to find lists of illustrators online, and as with most lists, they're not going to be complete. So what should you include? What book should you include as far as taking care of who the illustrators are? American, British books. I think American and British books, yeah, you want to keep track of the illustrators of that. But how about foreign books where the name of the illustrator is not there? Or if it is, it's in a language that you have no way of knowing what it is. That can be a problem. Should you include Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass only? Or should you include Alice in Wonderland, Through the Looking Glass, and the variations of Alice in Wonderland? Are you going to include illustrators of manga? Are you going to include illustrators of the comic books, illustrators of the graphic novels, and illustrators of the Kindle books? It depends on how much work you want to put into it and how absolute complete a list you're going to make. I haven't decided yet which I'm going to do when I start doing my Illustrator videos. Definitely the American, definitely the British, The other ones I haven't decided on yet. And there's one other thing I want to talk about, and that is how violent a lot of these Alice in Wonderland variations are. Now, I am not enough of an expert to know when this started, but I know Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass are really nice books. I mean, the queen always just yelling, off with her head, off with, yeah. And the king comes along and says, don't pay her any attention. And nobody gets killed. But in a lot of the present day books, there is really, really a lot of violence and a lot of death. In this one book I just finished, I kept track of it. There were there was short stories, 3 cannibalisms, 3 references to drugs, 2 to Alice being in an asylum or a prison, 1 to oral sex, decapitation, one of those, regular sex, one of those, prostitution, one of those, and just plain mass killings, 5. And I would really be interested in knowing when all this trend towards interpreting those books in a violent manner began. I severely doubt it was in the 30s, and I'm not even too sure about the 40s. But for some reason, a lot of the variations now have a lot of violence in them. They are not for young people. Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass were written for young children. And it turned out they were so good, a lot of the adults, oh, this is really good. So the adults started getting them. But in today's world, you need to kind of be careful and read the description, if there is one, of what's in the particular novel. Because otherwise, like this book I just finished, some of the stuff is really absolutely shocking. And I'm not saying censor the books, but I am saying be careful what you get. Okay, so the next one on Alice I'm going to be doing is the first one in the list of illustrators. I'll be doing certain alphabetical order, and that'll be up before too very long. Okay, thank you for listening.